All right. Quite some time when you collect data, you will find that the data may not be normal, or it may not be linear, or may not be homogeneous. Now, normal we know skewness and kurtosis, and linear means the line should be a straight line graph, should not curve, and homogeneous means the variances of the two populations or three populations should be to some extent equal, statistically equal they should be. But always we do not get that kind of data set, and so what happens is we work with a problem. In that case, we have we try to do some other kind of statistics. See, the parametric statistics requires all this: normality, homogeneity, linearity, and so on. But if the data is not normal, if it is not homogeneous, not linear, then we have to use non-parametric statistics. So, parametric statistics takes into account all those things and then works it, but non-parametric statistics can work with data that is not normal really. And so, today we are going to take one of those areas where we can use non-parametric statistics, and that area is chi-square. Let me write the word chi and chi-square. That is the statistical information which will help us to analyze data which is given in terms of frequency. So, when there are when there is a variable, one variable or two variables or more, if the variables are given in terms of frequency, then we cannot say that they are normal or not normal, because these are not responses of the people. These are how many people fall in one category or the other. And so, if you are comparing categories, then it is going to be a problem situation. And so, what happens is we are going to see now chi-square symbol is given like this. This is the symbol for chi-square. Okay. If you look at the screen, you can see chi-square. Now, there are two kinds of chi-square that we are going to consider today. One is goodness of fit with one variable with different categories, and then we will see test of independence. The second part is test of independence, and that will be two variables or more than two variables. So, we will consider first the goodness of fit with one variable. Okay. Now, let us take for example a variable where a manufacturer wants to find out what color lipstick is is going to sell if he manufactures different colors. And so, he chose three different colors, and so he had he had a cherry pink, and then there was apple blossom, and then there was another one pink, just pink. Okay. Now, these are the three different colors, and he set one person at a mall. For those ladies which come into the mall, they were given a sample and they were told they could choose any one of the colors they like, free. It was a free sample that was given, and so people, as the ladies passed, they took one color of the stick, and at the end of the day they counted how many sticks were gone of cherry pink, apple blossom or pink. And so, these are the frequencies they got. Cherry pink, okay, cherry pink was 65 people, and then pink was 60 people, and apple blossom there were 52. So, these were the people. Now, he wants to know, do these numbers say that they prefer one color over the other? Now, we want to find statistically if this is true. Now, surely when you look at the numbers, we say, yeah, cherry pink is more popular than the other colors. But then we want to know statistically if it is significant. Is he going to make, if he makes only cherry pink, is it going to do help him to make profit? And so, we are going to do statistical study, and for that we are going to work with this one particular variable. And we first of all say null hypothesis, okay? And null hypothesis will say that the preference for 3 colors is equal. That is our null hypothesis. Okay. So, preference for the 3 colors is equal. That means, we say all the 65, 52 and 60, they are not much different. It is it is we are saying it is by chance that 65, 52 and 60 are common, otherwise they should be same. And so, knowing this, we are going to work with chi-square statistics, and that is going to be here. We are going to use the formula. Now, chi-square formula is there, and we are going to use the chi-square. Sometimes people call it chi-square also, but there are different ways to pronounce, but chi-square is what I like to call it, and the formula goes something like this: sum of FO minus FE, okay, divided the whole square divided by FE. Now, what is FO and FE? FO is the frequency that is observed. So, FO is the observed frequency. And FE is the expected frequency, that is why E is there, expected. So, observed frequency and expected frequency, and that is all that we need. Now, let us see what is observed. So, now let us say what were some of the colors that we had. Let me see. All right, cherry pink, apple blossom and pink. All right, let us go back. So, cherry pink, let us say cherry, and then apple blossom and pink. And how many cherry there were? 65, I know. And then apple, how many were there for apple? I forgot. Apple 52 and then 60. Okay. So, 52 and 60. All right. So, this is what is observed. So, this is known as observed frequency, FO. So, we have this FO here, observed frequency. But what do you expect? What should be the expected frequency? Expected frequency is always according to the null hypothesis, and our null hypothesis was that there is no difference, the preference is same for all 3 colors. So, if the same preference is there, then what are we expecting? We are expecting the total here 65, 52 and 60, which will go 12, 7, so 177. It should be equally divided. So, divide by 3, and so you will find that 59, 59, 59. This is what is our expectation, because they are equally divided. So, 177 is total, divided by 3, 59. So, each one is 59. Now, we go through this formula. Next, FO minus FE. So, we subtract FO minus FE, this will give us 6, and here it will give negative 7, and this will give us 1. So, if you add this one, you are going to get 0, 6, negative 7 and 1, we are going to have 0. And so, to avoid that 0, we have learned the trick for that, and that is square the numbers, and so we have here FO minus FE the whole square. So, this is 36 and 49 and 1. Now, that is not all, we have to divide by FE now this one. So, we have here FO minus FE the whole square, this is FO minus FE divided by FE. So, what are you going to get? 36 divided by 59, and I have done that one here. So, I can just give you the numbers. 36 divided by 59 will be 0.610. So, it is 0.610, and then the next one is 49 divided by 59, 49 divided by 59, that will give us 0.831, and then 1 divided by 59. Okay, 1 divided by 59, that will be 0.017. And when you add this up, see the formula here, this is the formula for us. Add it up and you will get chi square. So, we add this up and it adds up to 1.458. Now, we want to know whether this is significant or not. Does it make significant difference, or the preference is equal? So, what do? We have to go to the table, chi square table at the back of your book, page 711, 711. On that page there is a chi square table, and that table we have to look at. And so, how do we look at the table? First of all, we have to find out what is our alpha level. So, alpha level generally, if nothing is given, is 0.05. Then next we want to know what is the degrees of freedom. Degrees of freedom is given by k minus 1. Now, k stands for number of categories. Number of categories. Okay. So, k are number of categories. So, how many categories we have here? 3 categories, like cherry, apple and pink. So, there are 3 categories, and so it will be 3 minus 1. So, degrees of freedom will be 3 minus 1, which is equal to 2. And so, we look at the table, and the table looks something like this. There are degrees of there are errors given up there, alpha levels 0.01 and so on. We are looking at 0.05, and here degrees of freedom are there, and then here 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers are there, and there are various numbers given. We are looking at degrees of freedom 2 under this 0.05, and that number there is how much? It is 5.99, and that 5.99 is the critical value. This is the critical value. Okay, critical value for the table, from the table. And now we want to know whether what we calculated is same as this or different. So, our calculated value is 1.458, and our table value is 5.99, and we say this is less. 1.45 is less than 5.99, and therefore, it is, we accept the null hypothesis. And what was our null hypothesis? That there is no difference, all of them are equal. The preference for the 3 colors is equal, and so we can tell the manufacturer the preference by the ladies on that particular day was equal. They all preferred all of them equally, even though there is a difference of 65, 52 and 60, but that does not matter. Statistically there is no difference. You may have to manufacture all 3 of them in equal amounts, and that is how it will work. So, this is one way of working this problem, and then we can also get another example just to be sure. So, this is now what we are working on is we are working on goodness of fit, and it is one variable problem. One variable problem. So, let us take another example in which it says here, students are giving a proposal. They want to hold a party, but they want faculty permission. Now, when the faculty vote for the request, it has to be passed by 2/3. It has to be passed by 2/3 majority. Only then students are allowed to have their party. And so, here is how the data is. Now, this example is also in your lecture, just like the previous one as well. So, you can look at that, and it says here for the party. So, we have a party here. Okay. So, in favor and not in favor. So, in favor and not in favor, and we have in favor there were 55 faculty members said in favor. This is the frequency, expected observed frequency. 55 faculty members said yes, let them have the party, and 45 said no, there is some problem here, examinations are near or whatever, and they will be distracted, so let them not have. Now, we want to know whether the 2/3 of the faculty have agreed here for them to have the party or not. Now, we cannot simply say add and find 2/3. Well, that is a simple person's in analysis, but we are statisticians now, and so we do not go by just hunches. We want to find out, is it statistically significant, and so we have here 55 and 45, and that goes to about 100, that is 100, and we say 2/3. So, what happens here now? FO 2/3 should be in favor. So, FE expected frequency is 2/3 of this. So, 2/3 of 100 is 66.7, and 1/3 maybe not in favor. So, that is 33.3. Now, if this is FE, then now if we use the formula chi-square formula, FO minus FE first, and that is means subtraction, and when you subtract, we are going to get minus 11.67, and then next is 11.67, because when you add it becomes 0. So, next is square. So, we have FO minus FE, FE, and we square that. So, square of this one gives, I have done that here, 136.19, and same number here 136.19. Okay. Now, that is not all. Now, we have to divide this by FE. So, these numbers. So, next is FO minus FE, and divide the square, divide by FE. So, when you divide by FE this one, you get the two numbers in favor. In favor it will be 3.682, and not in favor will also be same, because the same number. FO this one divided by 33.3. So, I divided it wrong, I wrote the wrong numbers. Let me change the numbers here. So, what happens here is for it will be 2.043, and against those who are against this particular move, it comes to, when you divide it by FE, it comes to 4.086, and when you add this one, you will get the chi-square value, and that will be 6.129. Okay, 6.129. So, that is 6 there. Okay, 6.129. Now, we look at the chi-square. What is our table value? So, we look in the table, and critical, we will say critical chi-square. Critical chi-square will be from the table. What is the degree of freedom? How many categories are there? Only 2, those who favor and those who are not in favor. So, 2 minus 1, that will be degree of, that is equal to 1, and alpha is 0.05. And so, what will be you look at 1 degree of freedom and at under 0.05, and it comes out to be critical chi-square comes out to be 3.84, and our value what we calculate is 6.129. So, calculated value is 6.129. This is more than 3.84. Therefore, what shall we do? We will have to reject the null hypothesis. So, we say reject H naught, and what is H naught? That the teachers are in favor of having this party. So, we are rejecting the H naught, which means the teacher, 2/3 of the teachers are not in favor. That means, there is not sufficient evidence for us to reasonably assume. So, we say we do not have sufficient evidence to reasonably assume that teachers are in favor for this party. It appears that the teachers are not in favor of party. Two-third of total number of teachers are not in favor of other party. So that is our conclusion for this one. Now chi-square has certain assumptions. When we collect the data that is collected is the people who respond should not fall into different categories. One person should be in one category only. They cannot have like two choices for the for lipstick, or they cannot say I am against the voting, or I am not I prefer that the students have their party, but on second thoughts so they cannot be in both categories. They have to be completely separate. Plus, if degrees of freedom is 1 and 2 and so on, then our expected frequency should be 5 and above. It cannot be less than 5. Then if it is very small expected frequency, our answers will be wrong. So that is one of the assumptions of chi-square, that our expected frequency should be higher. Okay. So that is one thing. Now let us look at the second part. I will remove this one. And second part is test of independence. Okay, in test of independence, what we do is we try to find out whether two variables. Now we are not working with just one variable. Before we had only one variable. What is that? Teachers' attitude towards the students having party, whether yes or no. But in case of lipstick, that also is one variable, lipstick choice, and there were 3 categories of lipstick. So only one variable, but now we might have 2 variables, and we want to find whether they are independent or dependent on each other. Are the 2 variables what is the meaning of dependent or independent? When we start with the independent, that means we say 2 variables are independent, which means they are proportionately distributed among the categories. They are proportional. For example, if you go to a party and the party has men and women. Now, if there are 100 men and 100 women in the party, do you expect to have equal number of men and equal number of women football players in that group? I doubt, because there are mostly men play football and not the ladies, and therefore you may have fewer ladies in the group who play football than men. Now, if that is the case, we cannot take that as proportionately distributed. But their choice, like for example, we are going to take an example here now. How do the ladies or men prefer the political parties? Now, let us say 2 political parties. Here are 2 political parties. One is political party, we will say, let us write this, political preference, political preference, and preference, and we have here what are the 2, Democratic Party and Republic Party. So, there are 2 like that, and then we will say we have here gender is another variable, gender, okay, let us say gender. I hope you can read that one. Anyway, let me erase that and write again. Gender. Okay, and then we have here females and males, and we say, okay, how are they distributed? So, females, they ask the females, how many of you would choose Democratic Party and how many of you would choose prefer Republican Party? And they found out 50 females in their survey said, okay, we are Democratic Party, and 19 have said we are Republican, we prefer Republican Party. Men, 70 said that they are Democratic and 41 said we prefer Republic. Now, we want to know whether gender is equally distributed among all these among these 2 parties. So, if the politician wants to know, oh, we got this one now, does this mean that am I going to win? If the Democratic Party candidate says, oh, 50 and 70, I am going to win, and Republican Party says, oh, 90 and 40, but no, we want to find statistically if it is significant or not. Are they equally distributed or not? If they are not equally distributed, then we say, okay, Democratic Party is preferred by, who prefers, males or females? So, gender preference. So, we can find out that preference by calculation. So, how do you do the calculations? Here is the procedure. Now, this is shown in your lecture also, but let me just demonstrate it to you. You find the total, how much is the total frequency here? So, this is 69, okay, and how much is here? This is 111, and we will find the total this side also, 50 plus 70, 120, and 19 plus 41, that will be 60. So, this will be 180. This is our grand total. Okay, so down here. So, this is total, just total here, this is the column total, okay, column total, and this is a row total. You know, we go by row this way, going this way is a row total. So, we have here row total, and this also is row total, and this way when you go, it is column total. Okay. Now, we have row and column total. Now, we want to find, these are all, this is observed frequency FO, all that is given here is FO. We want to know what is expected frequency. So, to find expected frequency for the females who choose Democratic Party. So, we want to find the expected frequency expected for whom? For females who are Democratic choice, okay, females with Democratic choice. So, what do you do? We take the row total multiplied by column total and divided by grand total. So, in this case, row total here for the 50 is going to be 120, and for that the column total is going to be 69 and divided by the grand total, which is 180. So, what do we have here? Let us divide, the 0 goes away and 6 goes 2 times, 6 goes 3 times here, and 3 goes here 23 times. So, we have 46. So, this one here expected frequency we will put in bracket 46. If expected frequency is 46, what will be for male expected frequency? We do not have to calculate all this, we can straight away find 120 minus 46, and we will get how much will that come to expected frequency? We will have for 70 it will be 74, because 74 plus 46 will give us 120, and then 46 plus some number should give us 69. So, that will be 23. And then 70 plus some number, no, 74, that is expected frequency now, 74 plus something should give us 111, and that will be 37. Now, we make the table, like we are familiar with the table. What table we will make? Observed frequency and expected frequency. So, observed frequency will be 50, 70, 19 and 41. Okay. This 50, 70, 19 and 41 will be observed frequency. This is what actually happened, but expected, we are expecting, what is our null hypothesis? That there is no specific preference for male and female, they are independent. Independent means gender does not have any special preference for Republic or Democratic Party, that is our null hypothesis. Gender does not have any particular preference. And then now we are expected frequency, this is our expected frequency 46, 74, 23 and 37. So, let us write it down on a new page. So, we will have here We have here expected frequency, no, observed frequency, expected frequency, all right, and let us write them down. So, expected observed frequency is 50, 70, 19 and 41. Expected frequency is 46, 74, 23 and 37. Now, our chi-square formula requires FO minus FE. So, we write FO minus FE and we subtract here. So, this will be 4, negative 4, then negative 4 and 4 again, right. Then FO minus FE, the whole square, and here when you square you will get 16, 16, 16 and 16. And then next is FO minus FE, the whole square divided by FE. So, you divide the whole thing by FE, and when you add it you get chi-square. So, divide by FE everything, 46 divided by 16 divided by 46, and when you do that you will get here point, oh, what happened, where is my, well, let me see what happened here. I want my, what happened here. Well, I may have to redo this one because my notes are not showing up properly. So, what happens here? Well, you can see that clearly there. So, what happens is when we do this, undo, oh my, penultimate. Okay. So, when you do this division, this is what you are expected to get, that is 0.16 divided by 46, okay, divided by FE, yeah, FE. So, 0.348 and then we have 0.216 and they have 0.696 and 0.432. This is when you divide this FO minus FE, this one divided by FE, okay. This is, and then what you have to do, to get chi-square you just add it up, all this added, and so the addition becomes to 1.692. Now, what is our H naught? What is the null hypothesis? Null hypothesis states that gender and political party are independent. So, we say gender and political party preference are independent. That means there is no specific liking for particular party, and we say alpha is 0.05 and 0.05, and then we have degrees of freedom. Now, here the degrees of freedom, since we have two variables, the degrees of freedom is going to be r minus 1 multiplied by c minus 1. That means number of rows multiplied by number of rows minus 1 multiplied by number of columns minus 1. So, we have how many rows here? We have only 2 rows, Democratic Party and Republican Party. So, 2 minus 1, and then how many columns we have? 2 columns only, females and males. So, 2 columns, 2 minus 1. So, that will give us 1 times 1, which is equal to 1. So, degree of freedom is 1. So, we look in the chi-square table under 1.05, we already found 1, how much it is earlier on. So, how much did we get? We have the critical value, how much, what was our, what is the critical chi-square? for 1. For 1 we had the critical chi-square, degrees of freedom 1, and that will give us we already worked on that, and that was 3.84. The previous problem we had that from the table 3.84. Now, our chi-square which is calculated here 1.692 is less than 3.84. Therefore, we will have to accept the null hypothesis. So, let me get that 1.692 is less than 3.84. Okay, 1.692 is less than 3.84. Therefore, accept H naught. That means there is no specific preference for males and females over the political party. It is random, and whatever difference we see in the table, it is because of the chance. So, 50, 70, 19, 41, it is because of chance, and this is how we calculate. So, what we do really to find the FE, we take the total row total for that particular column and column total, multiply them together and divide by grand total, and that is how we get the expected frequency. Now, if there are two categories, if there are 3 categories, you will have to calculate really for each one of them. The formula is same, row total multiply by column total divided by the grand total. So, this is how we work with the chi-square, and chi-square procedures are not very complicated, they are straightforward and it works pretty well, and I think you will enjoy doing some of the problems that are there for assignment, because it will tell whether they are independent or not. If they are dependent, that means they are not equally distributed, but the independent means they are equally distributed. We accept the null hypothesis that they are equally distributed. Okay. So, that is all the lecture for today. Thank you very much.